If we start with the obvious, is to lay out the one that you're going to use for your sleeping bag. This is really cozy, warm one. So we can see what it looks like. And then we're gonna do on one side, put little loops here all the way up, and then do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that I have the loops in the opposite of each other, and to make sure that the loops is about the same size, you can do your own measurement. Personally, I think it's just a hassle to do measurement, so I just use one of my fingers and do the same loop according to my ring finger on both sides. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to get it through, so it helps with a little extra tool there. What kind of knot you do is not really necessary, it's just that it's solid. The reason I want to do like loops that you can then do together all the way like this is just because, let's say you don't want to have a sleeping bag, you can just take the string off and just open it up and use it as a normal quilt. As you can see now, I have done all the side of the quilt with the loops, and here's now the bottom of our sleeping bag. So what I want to do is, here I want to put loops all the way across, and the reason for that is, like I said before, we can use it as a quilt still if we want to, but also we can have just string in the middle, or we can have the string all the way around, because sometimes, you know, it's so hot, you still feel cold, but it's sometimes overwhelming to be in a sleeping bag. So if we have the loops here as well, then we can choose if we will have not anything in the ends and here, so we can stick out our foot if we want to. And then we have just a normal duvet cover. Here is where you put in the quilt. Normally on some of them, when you check on the top, you have also holes in here that I was thinking of using for the foot. Like on this one, for example, you have a little hole that you can stick stick in your hands when you putting the quilt in. But I'm gonna use this one, so I'm actually gonna make some holes on the top there. So I will get back to you when I have done that. So this is now the bottom of the sleeping bag. So I've made holes here, and here is where I can stick my feet in and out. I don't know if you can see that, but if you don't want to have your feet out in the sleeping bag, you can do the one that I showed inside here. You just tie that, and then you just put a knot on this one. And this is just like a experiment one, so it's not fancy sewed or anything. It's made of just an underquilt for a bed. So as you can see, I left it open here as well on both sides, and just basically so you can have that inside of the bag, so you can just easily take it out and wash it. So I'm just gonna put that in there now and see if it works. Well, so there's my feet sticking out of my sleeping bag. If I get a little bit hot, and I can still just snuck them in there, and there you go.